Welcome to the Good Pod, where today we're talking The Good Wife, Season 5, Episode 4, Outside the Bubble. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, my co-host, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you good?
I'm good, Jason. How are you? Are you good?
I'm good.
No.
There might be something happening soon. Okay.
What's that mean?
Don't worry about it right now. Just when it happens, if it happens, I need you to indemnify me. Okay. You got
with what? With what?
No,
with what?
Marissa, I just need you to say whether you will or you will not indemnify me.
I always got your back, but I don't know if you like these coffers aren't that big.
I know. I just need to make sure that when something happens, you're gonna indemnify me. You got me.
Of course,
right?
Of course. Yeah. Will you indemnify me? Jason? Jason?
Marissa.
Jason?
I mean, I guess
Jason?
Yes, Marissa, I will indemnify you. But you definitely gonna indemnify me, right?
It's a case-by-case basis. We'll kind of see.
Oh no, Marissa, we're supposed to be partners. You're
supposed to be backing me up, bro.
I just said I probably would. I just need your confirmation. We're not talking about me indemnifying you. We're talking about you indemnifying me. We're good, right? We're good.
Sure.
All right.
Fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Fine.
Great. Yes. Awesome. You'll be getting contacted by
who? Oh, okay. Some third
I just need you to make sure you're gonna indemnify me when it happens.
Okay. I will.
When the phrase indemnify me came up, did I have to look it up? Yes, I did. I was like, what does this mean? But yes, it's kind of like to insure against something happening.
Basically, I agreed that if Jason were to come across any losses due to this podcast, I would pay him back.
Or just in life in general.
Or just in general. I can't get you a gallbladder back. I can't get you your gallbladder back. You lost it.
Listen, I'm on the market for a slightly used, possibly refurbished gallbladder. Because listen, if I'm not gonna be able to eat greasy fried foods, that's gonna change my life for the worst. So I might need a new one installed so I can handle the foods that I'm used to having. Okay, and people act like that's not a thing. Like that's a big life change. Okay,
it is a big life change.
All right, like I feel like if I was like a millionaire or something, like it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibly like, okay, but can I get another gallbladder, pop it in, and I can go ahead and get it back to it. I think I don't know. I might have to look into that because I've never heard of it. People just lose their gallbladders and are just like, all right, I don't have a gallbladder anymore, blah 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 blah. But I'm not okay with that. I'm not cool with that. I gotta listen. If anyone out there is running like a clean, like nice vegan lifestyle and is not using your gallbladder, I'm here. Hit me up. goodpodfeedback@gmail.com. If you have a slightly used gallbladder, I'm in the market. Okay.
Actually, if you could let me know so then I can indemnify Jason of his loss of his gallbladder, then that would be, you'd be doing me a favor, which I would appreciate.
When someone comes to you, Marissa, and says, I woke up in a bathtub and with full of ice and my gallbladder was missing, I suspect your partner, you're going to have to indemnify me against that. Okay.
Because you stole someone.
I mean, listen, I got to do what I got to do. Okay.
Okay.
Listen, my Popeyes is too important to me. Okay.
I get it. I get it.
All right. I was gonna make sure we're on the same page, Marissa. I want to make sure we're on the same page. Before we talk about this magnificent, great episode of The Good Wife, not to lose the plot here, we want to remind you of some free and easy ways you can support this podcast. You can do that by rating, reviewing, subscribing, wherever it is you are watching and or listening. We greatly appreciate it because it gets us to the eyes and ears of more listeners that would enjoy this content like you. You can also email us, I mean, not even about just gallbladder issues, just anything in general if you want to talk about the show, to thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com.
It just go.
And if you want to support us financially, you are also free to do that over at buymeacoffee.com patreon.com/goodpod. We'd greatly appreciate it, as this is a fledgling small business podcast. We are like a new firm, getting our stuff up and ready to go. We need some startup costs, and you'll be sharing. It's like the bonuses. We'll be sharing the bonuses that you give to us via Buy Me a Coffee.
Well, I just will say, like, we do use that money to pay for the software that makes this possible. And, those are on annual subscriptions, and some of them are coming due. So if you would like to help us cover some of those costs, we would greatly appreciate your help. So I thank you in advance for considering.
Truly. Okay. Now that's out of the way. Let's get to this great episode. A Diane-centric episode. I feel like Diane is like the MVP for this episode, just slaying as Diane likes to do. This is maybe when it's all said and done, we'll look back at this episode like this was a top Diane episode.
I feel like we were talking about this before the pod, and I don't like this will not spoil anything for the Good Fight, but I think if we were to look at Diane's character in the Good Fight, like this episode is an origin story of sorts for her, just in terms of what she's carrying with her for the rest of her character arc in this universe. So it's really interesting to go back and kind of see this episode.
Yeah, and totally the arguments here made about politics in general is so wild. And you talked about the difference between this Diane and Good Fight Diane, and things are just so radically different in the Good Fight universe. It's going to be interesting to talk about because it's so different.
Yeah, because Good Fight, just if you don't know, centers in Mango Man term 1, I would say. The first term of the current president is like when that is all coming about. So right now this Diane is in the Obama years, and this episode opened up in a really creative way, Jason. I really loved how this opened. It was definitely like it was like a POV open. The camera was this character walking through Lockhart Gardner, giving a file to David, getting yelled at by David for bringing the wrong file, stopping and seeing Harold, and Harold's like, "Are you the tech one?" Or Howard, like, "Are you the tech person?"
Yeah, we were Chrissy in this moment of
yes.
Seeing number one, how we had this storyline a few episodes ago about how assistants were being treated. I mean, this is basically around the same thing. She's treated as a third, fourth class citizen of she's just kind of there to be waiting on hand and foot the actual lawyers.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I like the reveal of it being Chrissy at the end. It was also really confusing because after she gives, she stops by Will, she gives Carrie coffees. She basically runs into Alicia and has this conversation in quotes because it wasn't really fully formed or anything like that. Because she asks Alicia, "Can I talk to you?" She's like, "Not right now. I got to run." She's like, "It's just really hard." "Well, what's hard, Chrissy?" Like, I don't know. And then at the end of this conversation, she's like, "It's okay. I figured out what I want to do." And what she figures out what she wants to do was not what I was thinking she was talking about at all. Because Alicia was like, being a paralegal is really good practice, and good networking for when you pass the bar. And Chrissy's issues are not connected to that at all. Well, I wouldn't say at all, but it was in a different field than I thought.
It's interesting because the way that I perceive Chrissy it varies, right? Because in this moment, when I look back on this moment with context, knowing what, was she actually trying to act in good faith and come to Alicia about her concerns and worries?
Right.
That's the vibe I got from this with the context from later. But then later, I'm just like, is she just trying to get some money? I'm not sure how to read it anymore.
And it's also this is an interesting episode to look at post Me Too, because I think when we first saw this episode, different context than looking at it now. So I'm excited to keep talking about it. But while this is happening, we also have the rebels, aka the fourth years, basically taking over Alicia's office. And they're like, "Don't worry, we're working on the whatever deposition." That's what it looks like. But their whole goal here is they need to get files so that they are ready to go from day one with the new clients. And they talk about the pros and cons of it all. They'll probably sue us, but they'll just eat the costs and then they can delay and all this stuff. But the only way to really get around this, Alicia, is by using your partner powers. And Alicia's just like, oh my God, really? Again, like another thing that I have to like stretch myself out for in this. And it's, I don't blame her, because they're really if it wasn't for her, would they even go? Because would they be able to do this?
Right, and they keep stretching her boundaries like that. She's told them several times, it's not a good idea for me to be like,
meddling.
Like secretly getting files, secretly doing this, because this could come back and bite me specifically. But they keep trying to be like, oh, but Alicia, it's just this, that. It's just Diane's cases. She's leaving anyway. What's the big deal? Just like, no, this is a big deal, and it's like it could definitely come and bite her back in the butt. So I get why she's hesitant. I don't understand why she, I get the pros and cons, right? Like, yes, they're right. Once we leave, they are going to slow down on getting us any files we need, because they're just going to want, to get their pound of flesh for us leaving. So for us to actually work, diligently on these people's cases that we're taking, we're not gonna say stealing, because when a guy was like, yeah, we're stealing them, it's like, oh, we're not stealing, like the way, like we see it several times here, the way that they try and justify themselves in many different ways is kind of wild. It's like, no, we are rightfully taking disgruntled clients that were looking for new representation anyway. Like, no, they weren't.
They didn't know they were, until they had that opportunity in front of them. And also, like, Chicago's a big city. These aren't the only clients in the freaking city. Like, you could be trying to do some networking of your own. Yes, that would mean people are talking about it, but like, come on, guys, come on.
Yeah. And then David Lee comes in. David Lee, who's been suspicious of everything and everyone, and comes in like, what are you guys doing in here? It's like, I think he sees Alicia and he's just like, okay.
Well, because they're like, we're working the deposition. He's like, oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think like one person he's not suspicious of is Alicia. So he's like, I mean, nothing too bad can be going on in here. Like, I don't know why I've now given David like this like witch's voice. I don't know what's really going on in here. Alicia's here. It must be okay. So
he's kind of like a weasel. I get
it. He's a weaselly kind of sniveling kind of guy. He's like, Alicia's here, so it must be okay. And like dude runs off. But he's like, David Lee's out to like get everyone. It's a witch hunt.
It is. Across the hall, they are packing up Diane's office, because apparently we can't wait to get Diane out of the office. We are packing up her office. And who walks in but Viola, aka what's her name? Tom Hanks' wife. Rita Wilson.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Rita Wilson is back. And she's like, I was always in competition with Diane in law school. And, I would love a judgeship also. That's like not why I'm here. While this conversation is happening, David comes into the office looking for the paralegal, aka Chrissy. Alicia's in the office as well, and Viola's like, oh yeah, the paralegal. That's why I'm here. I'm here because she's suing you for a hostile work environment. And David, of course, has a very David Lee reaction to this. And Viola lets everyone know that like this is not something Diane's gonna like. It might impact her judgeship.
Yeah, and like, we don't give Viola her flowers enough, right? Because we talk about all of our recurring opposing lawyers. We don't really talk about Viola. Viola, I feel like, has also been here like once a season. And I like just how bitter she is and how much of a petty Betty she is. She talks about the fact like, the only reason really Diane's probably even getting this judgeship, the reason you guys are even in the position you guys are in is because you stole my client from me. And it's like, oh, a nice callback to stealing Patrick Edelstein from Viola was it season 1? It might have been season 1 where they just like yanked Patrick Edelstein from her like right out from under her nose in those days.
Yeah, she's definitely a key returner for me as well. So Diane's not there because Diane is out with Kurt.
Hey, we love Grammy and Grandpa doing fun stuff.
We do.
like shooting at the range.
I mean, this is not the first time we will see Diane like look for some sort of violent sort of outlets. But she's at Kurt's range and he's like, ooh, look at you. Turns me on a little bit.
About to take you out to the barn, girl.
Yeah. Will calls and Diane's like, I don't have to answer it. Let's make out. And then after that scene, we see Diane and Kurt out at lunch. And like Diane is so happy here. Okay. Like she is just like, hey, hi. She runs into some friends, Fran and Lyle. She's like, oh my gosh.
Good old Fran and Lyle. And let me tell you.
Tell me.
As someone that's in my current state, not allowed to eat red meat or fried foods.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. That steak and those fries that Kurt was eating. I was just like, oh my God. Like I'm having like such like cravings right now. And seeing that, I was like, my mouth was just watering. But yeah, we meet Fran and Lyle. Now, just, behind the scenes, debate to fill you all in on. As some of you will know, I do the guest star lookups. I looked up Lyle. I did my due diligence. I was like, this guy is the quintessential old guy in movies, TV.
He's a dude. Yeah.
He's a dude. What is he in though? I was like, Robert Klein. Robert Klein is this man's name. I was like, I just couldn't find. I was like, okay, like it just feels like this man is in every TV movie, but he's always has like this like smaller role. He's somebody's dad. He's somebody's old doctor.
Fine Day. Like, yeah.
Yes. But of course, Marissa's like, how dare you? This man is someone. And I was like, okay, go ahead, Marissa. Go ahead. Let's look at his IMDb together. And you tell me what I was supposed to know this man from.
I found it.
Like,
I found it.
Like, fine. One fine day. I was like, oh, really? One fine day? That's all you got? And then she happens upon, you go ahead, Marissa. You tell her.
Yeah. The 90s classic Sisters with Swoosie Kurtz. Multiple seasons, also a Chicago-based television show. Loved it. That's how I knew him. And I also don't know what it was. It must have been because my brain was still developing. I thought this man was everywhere all of the time. Like I just was
I get it because I saw him. I was like, this man's everywhere. And I looked it up. I was like, I mean, he is everywhere, but he's just not. He doesn't make like a big impact anywhere, to be honest.
Well, he plays like. I think his roles are impactful, but not like memorable. If that makes like in those plot, like he has something to do, but he's just like
definitely that character we talk a lot about. Of like it's that guy. It's the Leonardo DiCaprio meme of hey, that guy.
Did you
like
see
pointing at the screen?
The new Leo meme unlocked at the Oscars?
Is something about his mustache?
Well, he does have a mustache, but he looked at the camera and did a shrug. So now we have a shrug and a point and a cheers and a laugh.
Wow. Yeah. I know. So many expressions that
I know. Good at. Who knew?
That's why he's one of our top actors of the day and possibly child predators.
I would say also maybe a subject for another show you're covering later.
Yes, very much. No, I'm sorry. I said child predator. That's not true. He's just very much likes
he loves a certain age of woman.
Yes.
Unfortunately for all of us. Okay, so Diane's at this lunch. She runs into Fran and Kyle, who apparently also went to college with her and Viola. So they're like, oh my God, Viola's in town. Oh, so great. And I'm like, where have you been? It smells like you've been camping. And Kurt's like, it's gunpowder. Gunpowder. And they're like, guns.
Ew, guns.
This would be like, this is me. Literally, this is me. Like, I am Fran and Lyle all of the time in any situation with guns. And Diane's like, yeah, we were out shooting with a Smith & Wesson, something or other. And they're just like, they cannot like fathom that this is coming out of Diane's mouth.
They try and give Kurt the benefit of the doubt. They're like, are you a hunter? Because that would be the only way we can suitably, get through our heads that Diane is associated with someone with guns. Like, hunting?
Cannot fathom. And during all of this, Diane gets a call from Will. So she's like out of the table conversation. And I just love the table conversation that continues because it's like, oh, Kurt, what's your last name? It's like, McVeigh. They're like, oh, it's like, yeah, the guy who blew up the federal building in Oklahoma. Yeah, that guy.
It's like of the building blowing up McVeigh's. That's McVeigh you're associated with.
It was bad. And then also like the conversation about guns was very like things that I have tried to talk through with some people in my life as well. Yep. But while the Will is on the phone telling Diane about the lawsuit, and Chrissy's claiming the following things. Chrissy is claiming that Diane asked her to prostitute herself for a client. that Alicia asked her how she lost her virginity, that Carrie showed her how to masturbate, or how he masturbates, and that Howard tried to sleep with her. So these are
Howard
claims.
Howard tried to rape her. Like
that's yes. Sorry, here Howard tried to rape her.
Howard, upon hearing this, says, "Rape her? I don't even know who she is." I'm like, it's like, how dare someone accuse me of rape? Like, that's not the first thought in his mind. His first thought is like, I don't even know her. Like, like as if it was like, if you knew her, I might have possibly. I don't know. Like, your first thing is like, I don't even know. I wouldn't even know who she is to begin to rape her.
Well,
so how would I done this?
He did almost have that baby with Sid Charisse. Remember? Yeah. There was that whole part of his life.
Boy, they put Howard back into the narrative, and he is showing his ass. He is showing his ass in more ways than one. I didn't even mean that at first. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Boy, yeah, he's like, I don't even know who she is.
Like, it's a good Howard impression. Yeah. At this time, like there's a conference call between, like, Diane's on speakerphone basically, and David is saying, like, I want to slime her before she slimes us. And Diane at this point is like, okay, just tell me what you need to do. What you need me to do. She returns to the table and invites, like, Fran and Lyle to eat with her and Kurt. And they're like, we'll just we'll catch you later. We'll catch you later.
We're all right. We're gonna head out.
So the firm needs a lawyer, and we know whenever this happens, there's one girl to call, and her name is Elsbeth Tascioni.
Elsbeth, she is here. We love Elsbeth.
Elsbeth. What's the rest?
She's a kooky redhead.
There you go. And this is so funny because recently in an episode of Elsbeth, she was also, like, tied to a health monitoring device. And here we see her trying to get her steps because her, like, knockoff Fitbit at this point would yell at her, and she's got the walking pad, she's got the standing desk, she's very 2020 at this moment. Like,
it all lines up, Marissa.
I know.
I'm telling you,
universe
it's lined up for us
around the good pod.
Exactly.
At this moment, we have Will, Alicia, and David in the room meeting with Elsbeth while she's doing all of her steps. And David is, like, very sus of this whole situation. Like, we're here to see if we might hire you. Will and Alicia already know. They're like, we're going to hire you.
It's the Elsbeth starter pack, right? When you meet Elsbeth, everyone that meets Elsbeth is like, this lady? Seriously? And then she wows them with her, with her antics, with her, like, inquisitive questioning. And they're like, oh, okay, Elsbeth. And Elsbeth gets David on board by using the same exact line that he used. We're going to slime her before she slimes us. And David's like, oh, okay, I get down with this.
Let's hire her. She also, like, because it's brought up that Will thinks that this is happening because of the transition period. Like, someone's taking advantage of the vulnerability here. So Elsbeth is like, okay, we're going to move fast. We're going to get depositions on the calendar, and let's slime her before she slimes you. And then David's like, oh my God. So Elsbeth goes to meet with Kalinda, also a fun meeting. They have met before, but it's always fun to see these characters next to each other. Yeah. And Elsbeth is asking Kalinda to find information on Chrissy, to find dirt on Chrissy. And then, of course, she has, like, honestly, I know we were not aware of neurodivergence as much as we are now, but this woman is displaying classic ADHD tendencies because it's like, I need you to find dirt on Chrissy. Where do you go get your hair done? When I just do my hair flops. Also, isn't it interesting that Chrissy accused everyone but you? That's so weird. That's so weird. And Kalinda has this conversation, which I think is interesting. She's like, well, everyone's comments are up to interpretation, right? Yeah. And then Elsbeth says, well, do you think sexual harassment is up for interpretation? And Kalinda says, no.
Well, what, we might see a little. I mean, listen, when we heard the accusations at first, it's just like, oh my God, this lady is crazy. She is making all sorts of claims. Like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, so this is just like, she's out for money. She's out to, like, defame the firm. But then we hear later, it's just like, okay.
Some stuff actually happened.
Yeah.
Some stuff was not cool.
Interesting. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting to get into. But then, with this conversation with Elsbeth and Kalinda, what do you think? sexual, assault is up for interpretation. She's like, no, but I mean, you never know. And it's like, we'll find out later. Like, Kalinda's on to something. Kalinda kind of already knows for different reasons. She's already like up on things, as Kalinda always is.
She knows exactly why she was not named in this lawsuit. So after Diane has her lunch with Kurt, Fran and Lyle are like at her apartment, and they're like, listen, I cannot believe you, Diane Lockhart, are engaged to a Palin supporter. And Diane's like, I know, isn't that so funny? So funny. And Fran says something that I think like sticks true. Like this is we can see how this kind of snowballs into where we are now in 2026, because what Fran says to Diane is these issues matter. It can start as a friendly disagreement, but because of the decisions made out of these people, people get poorer, people die. And so I think like back in this time, politics was not as
divisive,
dire as it is now. I mean, like there were still true effects that were happening from the decisions that are being made. But what I think her friends are like coming to her from 2026 and saying like, do not press go.
Like, Diane, we're time travelers.
Like, don't do it.
You won't believe what Kurt's candidate is going to do in 2026. We're here to save you.
I mean, that's not foreshadowing for Kurt in any way, but you know what I mean? Like with that sort of attitude of like, this is real life. This happens.
And they mention like the big ticket items of the day in that time, right? Like, what about the issue? What about the issues of guns and global warming?
Well, because Sandy Hook had happened just then, right? Exactly. So like when they were talking to Kurt, they were like, the pictures of the kids did nothing for you, and he's like, the Second Amendment, blah blah blah.
It's like, boy, remember when guns, which is still a big issue, when guns and global warming were the only things on our minds back then, politically, of like, these are the big capstone issues of the time. Like, boy, like this is like to go back to those days when we were all concerned with like when global warming was just such an alarmist issue. I mean, listen, it still is an issue, but the fact that it's not on the forefront anymore, we have so many other huge things that are occupying our time.
Well, and some may say that might be by design, that we're not necessarily paying attention to those things anymore. As much as we were as a collective. I know there are people that are still very dedicated to the cause and all this stuff, but at the same time, it's really hard to say, you know what, I'm going to get an electric car and I'm going to use reusable straws and I'm going to do everything that I can for the planet when, oil fields are burning.
Yeah, everything else is on fire.
Yeah, it's a little hard.
Yeah, I love the kind of the antics here. Like Lyle comes in, like, because this is Diane's apartment we're in, and he picks up the Sarah Palin book that Kurt gave her so long ago. He throws it down like it's the diary of Satan. He's like, oh my god! And he's like, did you see Sarah Palin? She's back on Fox. And Diane's like, you don't watch Fox. And he's like, but there are clips on Jon Stewart. Oh man,
that's like how it was, like that. Yeah. And I mean, totally accurate conversations. I do like what happens here. Like her friends are definitely concerned. They're like, do you even know who this man is? Like, what is going on? And Diane is like, if I ever am addicted to something, if I'm ever throwing my life away, please come in and interfere, but not for this, not for love. And Fran says, well, when I met Lyle, because Diane set them up, when I met Lyle, you said to me, make sure your love can survive outside the bubble. Yeah. And I think that is a line, that is something that stays with these two characters for the eternity of their time in the good verse.
It's just so wild looking at this conversation and looking at the situation with, 2013 lens, and then, 13 years later, looking at it now, where it's so much more of an issue, of a topic about your politics and how they define you, how they define your values, how they define who you are as a person, which I feel like now is a way bigger thing than it was in 2013.
Oh yeah.
And it's great to see this issue travel with this couple all the way to 20 was it
2023
2023 as this couple now in this whole this way different environment of where they were in the world. It's they didn't even know they were doing it at the time,
right?
But it's like it's crazy to look at it as a whole.
And to be honest, like this dynamic is one of the things I love about Diane's character, and also something that I love about Kurt's character. Like I love how these two characters stay so true to themselves yet are so in love with each other, and taking that to where they go. But right now Diane is like, she's very in love, she's definitely high on life, she's definitely like doing all this stuff, but her friends are kind of putting some reality into the mix here. Elsbeth is diving right in with these depositions back at the firm. So she talks to Chrissy and she goes right in and was like, oh, so how did you lose your virginity? And she's like, what? So Chrissy says, I didn't answer. It turns out that this whole topic came up because Alicia was working on a case that had to do with how someone lost their virginity in the thing. So it created, first of all, it should have just stopped there. But then Alicia let a conversation happen where everyone was talking about their first times. And then Alicia looked to Chrissy and said, do you have anything to add? Because Chrissy was definitely like reacting to the situation. Now, this is a 2026 reading of the scene for sure, because I think in 2013, it would have been a little sus, but definitely not a stop the conversation right now. Like, don't have this move forward. I honestly could not believe that Alicia let it continue, because like, what if Grace was having that conversation? No, thank you.
Right. And it's, you know, it's again, they were like foretelling things that were happening, because, you know, the Kings write this in a certain way. And by the way, like this was written by the Kings. Like
you could tell.
Not every Good Wife's written by the Kings. Like this was an important episode, so they wrote it. It was just like for them to actually even put an eye on this. Like it's kind of the pre-Me Too of just like, yes, like things can be looked at in different lenses. So be careful what you're saying, be careful what you're doing and how you're addressing people, what you're saying, because things matter. Yes, we all thought this was a nonsense lawsuit in the beginning, but now that we're hearing these like specific instances, it is like yes, Alicia's intentions were not malicious, they were not sexual really in any nature, but you have to start you know, reading into yourself of like, what am I saying? What am I doing? Can this be taken some other way? So it's really wild that we were coming to this like, but then we listen, we're like, oh, like, yeah, especially in our minds now, in our 2026 minds of like, yeah, that's crazy. You should have done that.
It's like the classic intention versus impact, right? Like the entire intention of Alicia here might have not been malicious, like you said, but the impact is definitely, you have a paralegal, you have a power thing happening, paralegals and associates and then partners all in the same room, so you have this power thing happening, and then you have an inappropriate topic. Like that's a no-go. And I think it's really interesting that what the Kings did is like even putting into our minds, which I think was smart to do, was like putting into the minds of the audience who have like put Alicia and Carrie and all of these people kind of like on a pedestal of like can't do any wrong. Like they're our heroes. We're going to cheer for them. And here it's like, you did what?
Now we're putting them under a microscope. Now we're putting them under a microscope. Be like, oh, some things you are doing is kind of weird.
Yeah. Like kind of taking them down a notch, which I appreciated, but I also feel bad for Chrissy because that was not fun. The next story that they go into is talking about Carrie, and Chrissy is claiming that Carrie showed her how he masturbates. It was this, I have to say, like out of all of the things, I was surprised most at Carrie's behavior in this entire episode, because he worked for the state's attorney's office, and like, you know, like that would probably be something that would be especially on his mind because he worked under Peter, like something that's on his mind a little bit more. But basically he was working on a case. The state's attorney came in and talked about the plea for 3 years, and Carrie thought this was a joke, so he made a gesture of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably seen it out there if you're listening or watching.
It used to be everywhere.
Yeah, it was quite a gesture of like, oh please, like get out of here, that's ridiculous. Which, you know, Carrie explains. I mean, I feel like this was the least, I believe, like this one was just like, okay, like I was like, all right, well, it's a common gesture in that day and age. It's just like, all right, like the Alicia thing was like really sus. This was like less sus.
Yeah, because like the whole question of that Elsbeth says is like, okay, but did you refer to this as a technique that you use?
Yeah.
like is
no. Like, this is how I math. Like, what?
No.
Like, well, he's like, that's not even how I do it. This is how I do it. Like, Carrie, no.
Well, but like, genuinely, I was like, Carrie, like, even at that, like, he knows, he knows better. He just knows better. That's what I'm going by. Like,
yeah, I think you get, like, you get familiar. You get like, you get to a certain mode.
Sure.
It's like, oh, like I don't even know if I don't even think he thought it was a slip at the time. He's just like, oh, please.
Well,
like, I feel like, yeah,
it was his colleague from this. Like, if he had a relationship with the state's attorney's office person or something,
right? But he made the gesture like at 2 in the presence of Chrissy.
Yes.
So, again, you got to really think with a different brain when you're. If this was 2026, Christy probably would have walked out of there with a $6 million offer.
If any one of these things happened, like,
yeah. So was definitely a different time and place, and like we've been saying, the Kings were very like prescient in the way that they like really kind of wrote this and plotted this out, devised this.
To be quite honest, instead of, have you ever had to take like a sexual harassment training at work, and it was. Like, I would show this episode instead. Like, I think this would be a good training, as opposed to like the thing from the 90s where like people are leaning too close to each other or something like that.
Hey, Barbara, why don't you come on my office and show me a good time? Which Howard basically did at one point in this episode, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. So Chrissy got an email from Howard saying, I need to talk to you about something. Come to my office at 1 p.m. Like, walk in quietly. don't and sit in my desk.
Which at the time, I was just like, that doesn't sound like a Howard thing to say or do.
No, exactly. And she's like, I wasn't on any cases with him, so this was weird, but I did it anyway. I showed up, and then she says he took off his pants in front of her, and exposed himself to her, basically. And this is the problem that Elsbeth, like, okay, now we got something. Like, this is not good. So Kalinda and Elsbeth go to talk to Howard. And apparently, it's a little hot for Howard down there around lunchtime. So he takes a nap without his pants or his underwear, Jason.
Yes.
Pants or underwear on office furniture. Okay? Like, that's happening. This man is
completely
going commando.
He is pooing. as me and my wife talk about, he is Winnie the Poohing with just a shirt, no bottoms at all.
And he's like, I do this every day. I didn't invite her in. She could freely leave. Like, she tried to, like, he is definitely like trying to put this on her. Like, she was in like total control of what was happening. I was just taking a nap. I was just taking a nap.
Which again, as you said, intention versus impact, right? He was not trying to do anything, but you shouldn't be in your office ever at all with no pants or underwear on, as we saw, when Elsbeth and Kalinda walk into Howard's office. This was an unplanned meeting.
Yes.
Like, Howard's like, I don't have a meeting for another hour. They're like, okay, well, you got one now. Cause like anyone can come in here anytime. You didn't lock the door. You didn't pull all your shades down. You're just in here. Just balls and ass out, just like like this out here. Anyone could have come in here. Like, this is an issue. You shouldn't be doing this. Like, he was not nefarious in his intention, but the impact when something happened was what it is.
And to be quite honest, given the fact that there are no solid walls in this entire office building, I am surprised that he has not been caught before. Like, what is?
Well, I mean, he probably has, because other people know that he does this. This is how this came to be.
That's true. We do find out. This is again where I'm like, Carrie Agos, you know better. This man is somebody who wanted to like be in a firm with integrity and all of this stuff, right? And so he gets called into a partners meeting, and Diane's also pulled into this meeting. She's walking in. She's like, Alicia, I just found out what my life would be like if I never made this firm, and I love it. Like, I love it. Can't get enough of it.
It was such a nice, like, it's a nice moment with Diane and
Yeah.
Alicia. I think Diane knows like this is not, Alicia's doing, so she's not as mean to Alicia. She's like, I know you're not trying to push me. I know this was against your will. So like, I'm having a nice kiki with you. Like, I'm just having such a great time with Kurt. Like, me and him, we're out shooting guns. We're having a great time.
We had lunch. It was so great. But it turns out the Carries, both of them would use this as a prank. This being sending someone an email telling them to go into Howard's office at 1 p.m. and see him basically butt naked, in all accurate terms. And
no, not accurate. Butt naked would be not a stitch of clothing.
Okay, fine. But his butt was naked. His butt was naked. So I could not believe. I was Carrie. Like, I can get new Carrie. Like, I would be like, I could believe that. But Carrie, no, thank you.
Carrie. So disappointed in you, young man. So disappointed.
So at this point, Diane talks to Will because they're still trying to wrap up her exit package. And she's like, it's still not a done deal because I didn't accept it. But if you give me the gun control case, so she's like, okay, I got to get back in, my lane, basically. And if I can finish out the Sonia Rucker contract, I will take the deal. And Will's like, okay, and you'll keep all your clients in-house? She's like, I'll do everything I can. But also, you have to indemnify me against this case. And Will's like, okay, fine, whatever you want. And at this point, she's like, I guess I'm going out with a bang, like, I guess this is it.
I think she said, because she says it as like Will is like leaving, and she like whispers. I think she said not with a bang.
Oh,
that's what I think she said, because it's like, this isn't the grand exit.
You're right. Yeah.
Like, this is I'm leaving under, like, crappy circumstances. Like, I was pushed out. I was hoping to like have a celebration of leaving, right? Like, I was gonna go take the judgeship, and I was gonna probably leaving on good terms with Will if that was something that would happen. But now it's just like, I'm just like talking to this sully teen that is Will Gardner. Like, fine, all right,
whatever you want, whatever you want.
As you take a client away, like such a sullen teenager you are.
Yeah,
Will Gardner.
Not a good look. So Diane is like, okay, well, let me look at this Rucker file. Okay, let me just click, see if I could open it. It's like, no, it's being used. Okay, this is my biggest pet peeve about working in an office with a network is like you can't have the file open at the same time. But props to Diane for knowing her command line commands, because she opens up her little terminal and she finds out who is using this file, and it is none other than Alicia Florrick.
Diane don't even know Zach Florrick to come and help her. She already knows
how
to figure out who this was. And it was, I was like, ooh, you got something now.
She like marches into Alicia's office. Like, what are you doing? She's like, I was clicking it.
Alicia, girl, you got no poker face. She's like, my bad. Sorry. Didn't know. My bad.
And Diane is like really sus at this point. Like, she's like, something's up. Kurt comes in. He's like, hey, it's time to go. She's like, no, I'm going to be here for a few more hours. He's like, okay, I'll be back. Love it. Love that whole thing. Love it so much. But before he leaves, Diane is like, you met my friends. I'd love to meet your friends before we get married. It's like, oh,
it's like,
okay.
my friend. Why would you want to meet my friends? I mean, we just ran into your friends. It's not like you arranged a meeting. We just ran into them. Like, why would you want to meet my friends? Huh? Like, are you okay, Kurt? It sounds like you don't want her to meet your friends.
And on her way back to her office, Diane does notice that Alicia has like paintings in boxes, hasn't necessarily put things up in her office. So that just adds to the suspicion that she had picked up from the file thing.
Yeah, because remember, Alicia has a $10,000
yeah,
to make her office. She's been in her office for a while, and Diane is clocking tea right now. She's clocking Alicia. She's like, that's weird. She takes this to Will. She's like, Will.
Well, not yet.
Sorry.
Not yet. But she does, which is like a big part of it. But yes. So first we get the questioning with Elsbeth and Chrissy. I was like, she made an accusation at another job. So now we're like, oh, okay. And so we've got that going. They've neutralized the rest of the threats that were going on, except for what is open with Diane and Will. So Diane, again, is being accused of asking Chrissy to prostitute herself for a client. And Will's issue was that he had sex with underlings in the office.
And Will's like, don't worry about that. I got that covered.
I can answer that. And David's like, notice how I'm the only one who has done nothing here. And at this point, Kalinda's like, one more thing. Here's a video of Howard without his pants on while someone comes in, and it's on his computer. So they're like, okay, we're just going to bury it. Like, no one has to find out about it.
Well, and it's not just Howard is not, clothed from the bottom down. He literally gets up and he asks the woman, "Hey, baby, why don't you come sit on my lap?" Yeah. It's like, oh, that's definitely not good.
Bad. And this is where Diane, after all of this, she's like, okay, Will's here. Let me tell Will and say, hey, have you noticed anything? And she also brings up in this, not only are there pictures like still in boxes, but there hasn't been any money spent out of that account either. So she's done some extra investigation.
And Will being Will, he just doesn't really take any of this. Like, I think because it's coming from Diane, he's just like, whatever, Diane. F off. He's just like, he doesn't even pay any attention to it. It's like,
yeah, okay, there's whatever. Like no credit or value to what she's saying at this point. Chrissy then is again in a deposition. She's basically talking about, she's like, I wanted to be like Diane. Like this, she was my woman, my like mentor. I wanted to be like her. But in a situation where a client told Chrissy that she was hot and asked about her bra size, then Chrissy brought that to Diane, and Diane said, you should take the compliment. And so Diane's defense here is they are compliments if they're coming from a gay fashion designer. Again, wrong.
Yeah. Which, again, 2013 lens, 2026 lens is like the way that, and when we first heard this, like these things about Diane, like Diane, like, from you of all people.
Yeah.
I didn't think this would be appropriate. And she goes, well, he's gay. So
yeah.
Fine, right?
Yeah. Well, and then what was even more like, not more, but also in addition, Viola was like flummoxed by this whole thing. She's like, I guess I have nothing else. And Elsbeth is like, you're in a hole. You should probably stop digging. And I was like, oh my God, ladies, you're not, what?
I mean, but we're looking at this from the 2013.
I know.
Like in 2013, this was a gotcha moment. This was a ha, he's gay. So that was fine and appropriate. It's like, now we know it's not appropriate no matter who you are. To talk about anyone's looks, to say someone's hot, to ask a bra size. Doesn't matter who you are. It should not be appropriate or accepted that you do this in a professional setting.
Yeah. Or even like in a public setting, if you don't know the person,
right? Or
like no, thank you.
Yeah.
So at this point, Viola's like, okay, let's settle for $1 million. They're like, $1 million.
$1 million? You got nothing, lady. What are you talking about?
She's like, well, there's still the issue of the underlings. And so Will's answer to this, which I don't know how this, can you imagine how this conversation went? His answer to this was an affidavit signed by him and Tammy that they only had sex one time. Do you think he called her up and was like, yo, I need you to sign this thing? And she did.
I think so. Like, and I was surprised. Like, they didn't leave on the best of terms, right?
No,
like,
exactly.
I guess Tammy has gotten over it because I guess Will's like, hey, Tammy, what's up, girl? So you remember when we had sex in my office? Like, listen, some loser, some idiot is bringing that up against me. So can you just sign this saying that it was you, and we'll be all good and fine? Tammy, who, as we will remember, if you remember Tammy, she was a sports journalist for a newspaper. She went to go cover the Olympics and was like, hey, Will, I could not go cover the Olympics if you want me to stay and be a thing with you. And he's like, nah, you go. I got a thing for Alicia. I'm good.
Well, he was like, sure, okay. And then he never showed up.
And then ghosted her. Yeah, ghosted her. So it was just like, so apparently they're in a good enough space where she will sign something with saying, yes, I had sex in Will Gardner's office with Will Gardner.
It was really surprising to me. I was like,
so he's like,
what?
boom, done and dusted. We're good here, right? We're done here. Yes, Will, because that was the only time you had sex in your office.
Yeah. Immediately following him into his office, Alicia's like, that wasn't the only time.
He's like, say what?
And he's like, or she goes, you don't remember? Like, you don't remember? He's like, yeah, we didn't have sex. And she's like, yeah, but we did. And at the time, I was an underling.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
In that office.
In that office.
And Will's like, oh, yeah, but like we did it in the bathroom, right? Like not in the office. So,
bruh.
So like, it was the bathroom, not the office.
Again, just justifying anything. Like, well, technically. Like, because it was just like, you could tell when she was like, well, what about that one time? And you could, in the moment, he's like, all right, how do I get out of this? How do we justify the fact that we say that it was in the vicinity of my office, but in my office?
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, the bathroom. Good.
Yes. Good. Because the bathroom door is such a dividing line between your office and not your office.
You have to go through the office to get to the bathroom. But then at the end,
would you, if I go to the bathroom in my office, would you say I should go crack my office? No, you wouldn't say that, would you?
I that would 100% be his defense. He'd be like, let me pull up the blueprint. This is labeled bathroom. This is labeled office.
Exactly.
At the end, Alicia's like, that was weird, wasn't it? And was like, yeah, thinking about 2 years ago, that's going to be on my mind for the rest of the day. And then Alicia goes, just the rest of the day? Smile, 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 smile. And
I was like, Alicia, like, first of all, 2 years ago, I was like, it seems like yesterday to me.
It does.
And like, for them to be like 2 years ago, it's like, that was 2 years ago? Crazy. Forgot that. But then like, just today. See, this is why Alicia needs to get far away from Will, because this will happen all the time. If
also,
she didn't get away.
Like, we're in the middle of talking about sexual harassment at work.
And like, Alicia, like, what if this was Peter and Marilyn right now?
Yes,
you would be up in arms, girl. Like, wow. I was shocked at Alicia. I was like, well, what? Not you flirting with Will. Like,
And I think like Will smiled for the first time in like a season and a half. Like, this was like the first smile he had.
Definitely since the Diane stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Elsbeth interrupts them and says, hey, we have another problem. Turns out that Viola has the tape of Howard saying, hey, come sit on my lap. And so they're like, okay, well, who is feeding them info? So that's...
And you see Alicia be like, like as Alicia has been doing whenever something comes up involving one of her rebels, she just looks down in a way of like, don't look over here. Don't look at me.
She's like, did I drop a paperclip? That's what's going on? So Diane finally does meet Kurt's friends. And I have to say, it was hilarious. It was hilarious because, first of all, they're at like, I would say this will make sense to people in my area, like a Wisconsin bar. Like, it's very, like, there's wood everywhere. There's sports everywhere. There's beer everywhere. Now, it's not bad, but it's definitely Kurt's vibe.
Well, and they really set it up, because as they walk in, you do hear like random whispers from men talking about different political issues.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, yeah, we know what we're about to walk into, but we don't.
We're in different territory, because there are 3 young women who are Kurt's quote unquote friends. And it's just like, hi. Nice to meet you.
And we know Kurt, right? We
yeah.
know Kurt's shtick, right? Because the other time, like a couple seasons ago, Diane showed up at Kurt's, lodge to like profess her love, and Kurt was entertaining a young redhead by the fire that turned out to be like his TA in his forensics class.
Yes, just I'm saying, if you need stuff for that other show you're covering that you're going to tell us about later, this is also another prime example. But Kurt, okay, so they're on the way home, and Diane is like, okay, yeah, that happened. And it's like, where did you meet these people? And he's like, in class. And that's just like, and have you slept with any of them? And Kurt
Like,
pulls over, looks her in the eye and says no. And then they have a question. They're like, why are we getting married? Like, we're so opposite. Why are we even getting married? The whole Kurt with the kids in the class thing is a little creepy to me.
It's very creepy. It's
I'm not. Kurt,
yeah. You have no other avenue to make friends besides your students. Like, so
but they are top level ballistic agents. Okay,
great. Like, and all your friends have to be young, attractive women. You have no other friend group than this. Like, you don't meet any other friends at these little rallies and protests you go to. You have to focus on your students that are young, attractive women. Sus, Kurt. Real sus.
Agreed. So back at the firm, Kalinda is like, okay, hey, Carrie, I got something to tell you. We know who passed the file of the video to Viola, and it's one of your rebels. And
I had to look up who this guy was. They never
know. Who is the guy? What's this guy's name?
His name's Anthony. They never say the man's name like ever in the show. So I was like, okay, what was his character's name? Because I definitely did not want to identify him by any other factors. His name is Anthony. Because he's been a little rat this whole episode, sniveling around things. So like, he's the one I was like, Alicia, we got to get you to get the files. And like, this is the guy that's been like running around all episode. Anthony is his name. I was like, I need to know this man's name to refer to him as something.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. So Carrie's like, okay, do me a favor, Kalinda. And Kalinda's like, I just did you a favor. He's like, no, I need an hour. She's like, you got 30 minutes before I tell Will. So then the little group that has been meeting, the two Carries, Anthony and Alicia, are talking about like what to do. And Carrie's like, listen, Anthony, you're going to get fired. You cannot make any noise. Like, don't do anything. Don't say anything. Just take it. And we'll see you on the other side, basically. Mm-hmm. And Anthony's like, well, if I get fired, I'm going to like lose my bonus. And that's like $30,000. So if I'm going to take this hit for everyone, what we should do is we should split the bonuses among all of us, because why would it, like, we're all one team, like this is how it should go. And I think like this is really interesting to look at, like from the collective, how the collective could maybe go a little wonky and a little weird, because Alicia's like, I think we have the mob on our hands here.
Yeah, like it's like, Anthony, no one asked you to do this. You did this on your own volition. You are out here trying to snake the firm. Like, this was not just a meeting. This was a confrontation of Alicia Carey and other Carey of like, bruh, what are you doing? You're wilding out. You're acting crazy. And so like, when like they tell, like you said, like when you get fired, just don't say nothing. He's like, oh yeah, you don't want me to say nothing? Then you're all going to be sharing your bonuses with me. It's like, oh, this is a strong arming right here.
Yeah.
And it's wild that even before we even get started with this firm, there is like wars within the new firm of like backstabbing and blackmailing.
They really are the new Will and Diane.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, so.
Well, meanwhile, Diane's like,
yeah, she can see it. Yeah, she's walking by and she's like, huh, what's going on there? What's going on there? Later in the day, Diane goes out to dinner with her client Sonia, and Jason wanted to make sure I stopped at this point so he could tell me something about Sonia.
Yeah, so I'm doing my thing, right? I'm like looking at the IMDb, looking at fun facts, and they tell me that Sonia has appeared before in The Good Wife, not just the actress.
As Sonia. Sonia.
She's been this character before in The Good Wife. Now, the bewildered look you gave me when I told you this tells me you have no idea where Sonia is from. So I'm going to tell you the case. It was a season 1 episode titled Hi, and it was the case where, if stay with me, there was a babysitter that was murdered. And we were suspecting the husband, right? We were suspecting the husband, and at times we suspected the wife, because we thought maybe the babysitter was hooking up with the husband and the wife found out and she got jealous. The wife was Sonia Rucker. That's the wife. And you also may remember this episode number 1 because this was the Carrie was high on mushrooms episode.
Oh, I do remember that one. Yeah.
And also, this was the Alicia tries to hide evidence. Will gets Alicia to hide evidence episode of like, there's a bra in that bathroom over there. Go grab it and run before the cops get here. So that was where Sonia is from. She was the wife in that case of like, who killed the babysitter? I think we found out that it was some boyfriend of the babysitters that killed her.
So, interesting. Great work, Detective Jason. Nice job.
Because it was like, oh, she's been in this series before. Let me, because I don't remember. I was like, let me deep dive and see who this was. I looked at the episode. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Now, Sonia, who is played by Sonia Son here, which should tell you something because back in season 1, I was not watching this show that I know Sonia Son from now. Now I know Sonia Son from Will Trent. Which is a show I started watching recently because I read all the Will Trent books and then watched the Will Trent show, which if you watch Will Trent, you know, the books are nothing like the show. But the show is a whole different animal. But she's Amanda Wagner on that show, head of the GBI, and she talks like this. She does not talk like anything like this. She talks with a raspy voice, and blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, oh yeah, but also she's from The Wire, which I also have not watched. And Star Trek Discovery, which, you know,
I'll get to eventually.
Get to it eventually. So she's been around. I was like, oh my God, I did not realize this opened a whole new world for me. I was like, I did not realize she had been in this before. So she's a character that we I mean, not should have known. It was a relatively small part back in season 1.
But it's a deep cut callback, right? And it shows that like this character like retained services with Diane after that case. So this is someone who has been around for a while, and Diane's like, you're not like looking to leave, right? Like, and she's like, well, I thought you were leaving, you know, like what?
You'll be a big judge and everything.
And she's like, yeah, but like none of our lawyers have like approached you, right? And then Diane says, Alicia told me she's taking you on. And Sonia's like, she did? Oh, yeah. Like, it's really, and then she says, affirm with the governor's name on the letterhead is something I couldn't pass up.
Well, she tells her like outright, she's like, Alicia talked to me. I know everything. I was like, oh, like this, like, is this Diane or is this Elsbeth we're talking to? Because this is like an Elsbeth move. I'm like, girl, I already know everything. Alicia told me all about it. Go ahead, feel free to say what you got to say. And, like you said, like, oh, okay, oof. Yeah, because I mean, listen, firm with the governor's wife's name, like that's a big deal. It's just like Diane's like, bam,
bye. She's like, gotta go.
And like, did you see the lighting that was lighting Diane? Like when she was walking out, I was like, ooh, Diane is in her air. She's in her air right. She's in her bag right now. She's like walking out with the lighting, and then what you're about to say,
it like continues, right?
Oh
like,
yeah,
it continues. Oh, yeah. So like, I did not expect for this to happen in this episode, but apparently it is wedding day for Kurt and Diane, and this is why I love them. Because Kurt, like, they're just so two independent people, right, who want to get married. So Kurt is at the courthouse and he's pacing, and he's got some lilies, and guys are like, oh, getting stood up here. I got a sister you could marry. And he's like,
the unflappable, stoic Kurt is pacing. He is sweating. He's like, is my baby gonna show up? I'll get stood up at the altar. No way, man. Like the rock solid Kurt is just like worried about Diane, like, you know, standing him up,
which is so cute. And then he turns and looks to the other end of the hallway, and the camera is like, it's blurred out, right? Like, it's like we can't see, but there's a definite figure, and it is Diane Lockhart. Her hair is done. She's in a nice like navy blue dress, sunglasses on, all of this stuff, and Kurt is taken aback.
I am taken aback. Just
so good.
Woo! Like the only term I can use is sauntering.
She's sauntering
into the screen of just like, I'm here. I was like, oh my God, you are here, Diane. Oh my God, like Diane is just like, woo! This is Diane Lockhart.
Yeah, and he's like, we good? She goes, always. And then he's like, we don't have to do this. And she says, I know. And then they make out before they get married.
Make out. Like, it's like a little peck. This is a make out. I was like, ooh, Diane.
Yeah.
He's still my beating heart. Oh.
So Elsbeth goes to Viola and says, hey, if you pay the legal fees, like, we can be done here. And Viola's like, hey, I thought we were ahead with like this one thing. And Elsbeth's like, yeah, okay, so we have one more witness if you want to continue this. And it was Kalinda. And so Kalinda is being questioned. Why do you think you weren't named in the lawsuit? And Kalinda's like, well, Chrissy liked me. And like, in which way did Chrissy like you? And she's like, she liked me in the lunchroom. She liked me in the copy room. She liked me in the conference room. She liked me in all of these places. And this is when Viola's like, okay, I think I'm done.
So I was like, what exactly are we saying here? Like,
they had sex. Like, I would,
yeah,
I would not want to work in this office. Like, can you just like the amount of skin to furniture contact? No, thank you.
You don't touch none of the furniture here because someone's probably banged on it.
Yeah, yeah. Or like, took a nap with no pants on.
Yeah, I was like, Kalinda, which I guess I should like. I mean, from all the people involved, I guess Kalinda's the most, sexual forward person. We know, like, we know Kalinda will, hook up with anyone and anybody really. But it's like, Kalinda, you in here in the office doing it too? I was like, okay, fine. Like, forget, like, we still wondering if you murdered someone in this office.
Yeah, we still don't know. Yeah,
still don't know. When are we ever going to find that out? I don't know. But Kalinda, I was like, oh my. But to find out they've been banging in the office together, I was like, wow. Chrissy, okay.
Oh yeah, and I don't think we mentioned where Chrissy is from. So before we wrap up this little timeline, who is Chrissy and where have we seen her before, Jason?
Miss Chrissy, not someone that is like hugely famous. Her name is Tracy Chimo, and she was featured on shows like Madam Secretary and Orange is the New Black. So not someone like too famous, but someone that I definitely was like, I definitely gotta look this person up because they look familiar.
Yeah, they've been around for a while. Okay, so Diane Lockhart just got married and probably did not take his name because she's Diane freaking Lockhart.
Diane effing Lockhart, yeah.
Okay, she's in the elevator. She walks up the elevator. She's got like, there's an aura. There is a mood around this woman. She stops by her old office. She takes a look around. And I think what's on her mind here is like, is this really the firm I'm going to leave behind? Like, is this really, it is going to fall apart in 2 seconds because I have put together what is going on here. So she's looking around. Alicia comes in and she's like, oh, I thought you had left. Like, I didn't think I'd see you here. And then if you're watching YouTube, Jason is looking at the camera, and then she's like, we're settling with Chrissy, and Diane says nothing,
just gives her a death stare.
Nothing. Like, it was like something out of the Gilded Age, like, you know what I mean, like a little crossover, like Christine Baranski's toolkit.
It's like, girl, you better leave my sight right now.
Better go. And then Diane marches right into Will's office, and Will can tell because Will is talking to someone else. I'm assuming like someone is interviewing for Diane's position or something like that, because this woman, I think her name was Jaylee or Joni or something like that. When she leaves, she's like, stability. I'm like, what is that? Okay, whatever. But you could definitely tell that Will knows that Diane has something that needs to be heard and something to say. And she walks in and she says, Alicia's leaving with Carrie. And that's where this episode ends.
And they're taking our top clients with them. She also says.
Oh yeah, that too. And they're taking our top clients with them. And that's it.
So
not it for the episode. We do have a little bit more to talk about, but
this is the hard part that I'm going to have to come to you, and I beg and plead to forgive me. I could not resist. I let the next episode. I let the next episode.
Jason!
Yeah. I couldn't help myself. Jason. I really.
What kind of partnership is this?
I know.
This is like the 15th time you've done this.
I know. I just couldn't. I could not help myself but to let it go. And when I tell you,
there's a fury.
You might remember how this goes. When I tell you, you're not even prepared.
I know.
For how
did you watch the whole thing?
No, I watched a lot of it because I watched more than I should have. Let me just say that. I watched it at a certain point, but oh my God, Marissa, you're not prepared of how crazy this ish gets.
It's like season 5 is peak Good Wife. Like you get all of the things. It's like Stefan's favorite club, right? It's got this, it's got that, it's got all of the things. But I do thank you for your honesty, Jason, in fessing up to this.
We do get explained who this person was in Will's office, which is quite interesting. But boy, boy.
I know. Well, can you imagine? Like literally earlier in the day, the woman was like, "Just all day," like.
Bruh.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
It was so good. It was so delicious. And those that know that remember this episode, you know what I'm talking about. It's wild stuff. But I couldn't help it. I gotta know. I gotta see what happens here. And it does not disappoint at all.
I would like to invite the good folks to think of maybe a consequence or a consequence that Jason would need to pay every time he watches ahead. I think I would definitely take any suggestions at thegoodpodfeedback@gmail.com or leave a comment or even put it in our review. Like I think any of that would be really helpful to both the podcast and me to really kind of feel like this is a balanced, equitable partnership.
I'll definitely take any and all punishment thoughts under advisement.
Consequence. It's not a punishment. It's just a consequence for your act.
I know I shouldn't have done it, but
because I've been teaching. Actions have consequences, Jason. I don't know what else to tell you. It's the real world.
You have to find like a chalkboard and write like a bunch of times.
That's horrible. That's horrible. Never.
But yeah, I couldn't help myself. I was like, I have to see.
I get it because I almost did the same thing. So I get it.
Woo! You're not prepared. You're not ready.
So that is where we leave most of our characters in this episode. But there was some comedic relief with 2 other characters that were not mentioned. That would be Eli and Jackie, surprisingly, of all. At the beginning of this episode, Eli wants to talk to Alicia because Mrs. Florrick has asked that the inaugural ball, be moved to the mansion where it's usually held in like a building run by a union because Democrats, unions, that's how it goes. Mm-hmm. But the union, so now the unions are super mad and they're like striking and making it known to the world that this is happening. And Alicia's like, Eli, you're the people called me and was like, where do you want to have the ball? And I was like, I don't care. And Eli's like, yeah, but Mrs. Mrs. Florrick.
Yeah, it's like Eli.
The other one.
It's like, bruh, you don't know at this point. Like again, like he mentioned it the other, like, man, I'm getting old. I didn't clock the thing with Becca. It's like, how'd you not clock? Like this, as Alicia tells him, like, does this sound like something I would do? Demanding a ball be in a certain place. Like, I don't give a F about the ball. Like, what are you talking about? He's just like, what? Mrs. Florrick. That Mrs. Florrick. Again, no one can ever use first names. Remember when someone went to go buy the big house that Alicia and Peter used to be like, but it was Mrs. Florrick. Like, no one has first names on any of these things.
No.
What are you guys talking about? And by the way, what happened to that big house? Did
Peter still lives in it. No, he has the apartment. No, I think they still have it.
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, you live in the apartment when he's in Chicago." It's like,
yeah,
no, we live in the big house. I don't know. So I was like, we didn't just move into the big house. It's like, no, we already have that apartment set. We're not going to get rid of it.
I mean, I don't know the rich people life. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that works. Jackie is rearranging the Chicago offices and feels as though Peter's portrait needs to be the first thing that you see when you arrive. And Eli's like, no, this will make it look like people think it's going to his head. We need to put the seal here. And then Eli takes Jackie into Peter's office. I think Jackie, of course, behind the desk, meddling with all of the stuff. And Eli's like, listen, Jackie, if you want anything done, you're going to have to ask not Peter, not the fairies that sit on your shoulder. You're going to have to ask me. This is it.
Eli is feeling himself. He's like, listen, I know she could boss me around when I was just a campaign manager, of a state's attorney. She could try and override me, but I'm the chief of staff of the governor. You can't put your head over me, Jackie. Like, how dare you? She's like, Jackie's like, oh, okay, all right, cool, all right.
We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. So Eli goes down to confront the union leader at the strike, and I gotta say, lend me your ears because I'll play you a song.
Oh,
so happy to see Daddy Wonder Years here.
Oh, Jack Arnold. Oh my gosh.
So good.
Listen, for those, like, the Wonder Years was like a formative TV show for me. I was super young when the Wonder Years come out. So I'm wondering if I watched the Wonder Years in like syndication. Is that how how much that hit me? So I don't think I watched it in like, because let me look up the Wonder Years.
1988 to 1993.
Okay, so I was extremely young. I don't reveal my age, so I'm not going to tell you how old I was, but I was extremely young. So obviously I wasn't watching this like when it was airing originally. So I must have seen this in like run of syndication or something. But the Wonder Years is like a huge like show for me in my life.
You're not alone. I, just a smidge older than you, did watch it in real time. It was definitely like the thing that gather around the TV with the family, because it was set in the 60s. It was cool to like ask my parents if that, like, I literally thought that that's what their life was like, because it was like really the only window that I had into it. And I forever will have a crush on Kevin Arnold, like forever.
Yeah, I think because I was a young man, a kid like Kevin Arnold, I think that's why I can relate to that show so much, because like the things that he was going through as a young boy were some of the same things I relate to as a young boy. And let me just tell you, bro, like the Savage Brothers, like, I don't know how that happened, but for both of them to be on shows that are like so big to who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And also for both of them, like, apparently not to be the best of people. I'm like, bro,
well,
that's so disappointing.
Fred more than Ben is a better, I would say, because Ben ended up running for Congress and kind of did that.
Yeah, but it's just not aligned with who I am as a person.
Yes, exactly.
And kind of through the grapevine of hearing about Boy Meets the World, is apparently not the best person on the show either. But beside the point, the Savage Bros were like huge pillars of my childhood and adolescence.
That trend that's like, Dad, who are you in the 90s?
Yeah.
Like, they would be pillars for me too.
I was Corey Matthews in the 90s. Okay? But like, yeah, just the way that show was, it was like so, it was definitely like Americana, it was like very like of the American experience.
But it also like showed it was of the white American experience, I would say. Because there were rarely, if any, people of color in the show at all.
Very rare.
And then also it showed like going into Vietnam, which like was a tonal shift for the show too. Maybe we should do a Wonder Years rewatch, but like something like that. Like it was really interesting, especially because war. So it would be interesting to look back.
What is it good?
But that was so much. Another fun thing about the show was the soundtrack. It was good. So good.
I had a Spotify playlist of the Wonder Years soundtrack that I listened to. It takes some of the like oomph out of it when you're not watching the show with it. Because the show gives such like,
feels,
mood and like, feelings about it. But I definitely right alongside my my Muppet Show playlist is my Wonder Years playlist.
Love it. Well, it's good to see what's his actual name? Dan
Lauria. Yeah, Dan Lauria. I was like, it's Jack Arnold, baby, let's go.
Talking to Eli. Eli's like, what are you doing? Like, we moved it back to Union Building. Like, what's going on? He's like, well, your guy, Peter, supported this dude in Wisconsin that's anti-union. And unions are like hanging on by a thread here. So we got to do everything that we can. And Eli continues to like talk about the situation. And he's like, well, Jackie And Ronnie is the character's name, is like, oh, Jackie, how's Jackie? And I was like, oh my God. He's like, say hello for me. And I was like, no.
Eli does his best, Eli perplexed face of like, why do you care about Jackie? What?
So then Eli, recognizing that he is going to need Jackie to smooth things over with Ronnie and the unions, goes to meet Jackie at a senior aerobics class. This was great. I loved every moment of it because Jackie is just like, whatever, Eli, you told me not to help. You told me not to be here. You told me, like, I'm out. And Eli's like, okay, but I kind of need your help. And she's like, no, I mean, no. He's like, okay, well, what do you want? She's like, control of the inauguration. He's like, no, just the ball. And the decorating of the offices. Okay, fine. Okay, will you call him now? And so then Jackie calls and meets Ronnie, and there was vibes. I don't know. I did not like it. I felt like Mr. Arnold was cheating on Mrs. Arnold.
There was so vibes. The vibes were really vibing for Jackie and Ronnie. I was just like, ugh, this is weird. And he goes, remember, I forgot the guy's name, but remember this guy's boat? I was like,
yeah, I know.
What happened on the boat? What happened on the boat? And he goes, Janice is gonna be so thrilled that that we talked. I'm like, I guess Janice is his wife. And she's like, would Janice be okay if I took you out to get some coffee? And they go get some coffee. Like, I don't know what went on the boat. I feel like maybe, there was maybe some keys were dropped in a bowl or something.
Oh,
like, I don't know what happened with Jackie and Peter's daddy and Ronnie and Janice. I don't know what was going on the boat. Sounds like some freaky S, because even though Ronnie is married to Janice, he's just like, hey, you wanna get out of here? And she's like, yeah, let me go take you for some coffee. Like, it's like, what is happening? What in the 70s key party is happening over here?
But whatever was worked, because next time we see Jackie, she is back putting the portrait where it belongs. And Eli is like ecstatic. He's like, oh my God, so great. Unions are happy. I'm happy. Everything's happy. And then he's like, well,
I love Eli's like, I don't want to know how you did it. Because I feel like Eli is definitely clocking. So he's like, I don't even want to know. Like,
tell me.
Let's just say, Eli, I got some tricks up my sleeve. And in my pants. Like, bruh, what?
So that is our episode. Sounds like we're in for a pretty good one next time. So I hope everyone will join us again. But this episode was so good. I loved it so much.
Spectacular. And judging by the next episode's beginning, baby, you had no idea. Can't wait. Can't wait to talk about it. Yeah, on the IMDb, where the listing for the next episode is the top rated. I was like, no crap.
Love it.
That thing, amazing.
The last one I think that we watched that was top rated was the A-Team B-Team episode.
Yep.
So should be up there.
Yes, for sure. Can't wait to talk about it. Marissa,
yeah.
Now that you got this one out of the way, do you want to remind the good peeps where they can find you and all your musings on the internet, what you're up to?
Oh, why, thank you, Jason. I am always talking about TV in numerous places. You can find me at itsmemarissag.com, where I have links to everything, including our Elsbeth coverage here on The Good Pod. There was obviously in this episode an Elsbeth crossover. So Elsbeth will be off for a couple weeks. Good time to get caught up if you're looking for something to watch or something to listen to. You can find our episodes in the same feed as you found this one, or if on YouTube, we have two separate playlists. You can also find links to my other podcasts over on Whirlwind Podcasts. I talk about Pretty Little Liars, one previously on at a time. And I got to tell you, if I ever saw a show jump a shark, it would be that one. And then, I'm also talking about Star Trek The Next Generation with my sister on our First Watch podcast titled The USS Sisterhood. That's what's going on with me. Jason, I know I've teased it a little bit with trying to feed you some content for your pod. So why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
Y'all know me always talking about love and mess, and one of the new shows I'm talking about with love and mess, and somebody even call it trash TV. Not me, I wouldn't dare. But Age of Attraction is a new show out on Netflix. Basically, it's talking about the fact that, hey, what if like Love's Blind? Like, what if appearance didn't matter? What if age didn't matter? Like what?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say it should be
yes. Is love blind? Yes, it is. Does age matter? In some instances, yes, for sure. So this is basically what would happen if people that were on opposite ends of the age spectrum got together and tried to make a life work. What would happen?
Like if there was a ballistics professor dating a ballistics student, what would happen?
Just for an example, right? What if a 60-year-old was with a 27-year-old, which is a couple on the show? So we get to see, it's kind of like Reem are so Survivor fans. If you are Survivor fans as well, it's kind of like a Survivor themed season of a David and Goliath. Every conversation has to start with, well, because you're so young, or because I'm so old. Just like every confessional Survivor, well, because I'm a David or because I'm a Goliath, I feel this or this or this.
There was that season, wasn't it? Millennials versus Gen X.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As a Gen X, I feel like these millennials don't do nothing. They're lazy. As a millennial, I feel like these Gen Xers are taking things too seriously. It's a lot of that. Because I'm so old, because you're so young, because of this, because of that. A lot of that talk is like, if you're into Love Is Blind, you'll be into this too. It's the same kind of type of setup, same type of issues, but through a different lens, I would say. Also, if you're into Love Is Blind, me, Asia Welch, and Mary Kowalski just wrapped up Love Is Blind coverage of season 10. The reunion episode and recap is out. So season 10 is done and dusted. I guarantee within 2 months, I will forget the names of all the season 10 participants. But until then, they're still here, still relevant. So go check that out if that's something that floats your boat. You can also check me and Asia out, who also I didn't mention. She also is with me at the Age of Attraction. Me and Asia also talk about Married at First Sight on our podcast, The Perfect Match. We are exclusively on Patreon right now, talking about season 10 of the show. We're doing old seasons until a new season comes along. So come check that out. Season 10 is one of the best seasons of the show. So if you want to come along and chat with us and see what we have to say about it, come on over. That's it for me. That's it for Marissa. Until next week, stay good.
Hold on. I'll do it for real. Okay. Goodbye.